Hello, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Moderately Proficient Plant Guy. I'm your host, Rob Melanson. If you wind up liking this video and you want to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the little notification to get notified when I post new videos. Click the like button. I will be making these videos on a regular basis. I have other videos about guitar and some of my other hobbies. This particular series is going to be basically dedicated to all things plants, propagation, seeding, all stuff plant related. Today, I'm going to do a quick tour of the frog room / plant room. Used to have a lot more frogs. It's more plants these days. Still have a few pairs of frogs. We'll just do a quick update on some things, show you what I've got going on in there. And without further ado, let's go to the frog room. Okay, before we go into the frog room, I wanted to give a quick update on some seedling Amorphophallus konjac. Shattered glass is the variety. I had a few shattered glass adult plants that reverted. Unfortunately, that's something that happens. All of them reverted, and I wound up with just a couple of, they looked normal, but I knew they carried the genetics for the variegated shattered glass. Two of them bloom at the same time, and one of them wound up getting pollinated, so I waited for the berries to mature and took them and got the seeds out of them and planted a bunch of them. Probably planted maybe 30 or 40, and almost all of the seeds, I'd say probably a good 80% or more, all turned out variegated. These are some of the seedlings that are just starting to come up. So here are some of the seedlings just coming up. All these so far are all variegated still. I don't know what causes the reversion, or if there's anything that causes it. It's just a matter of time that they revert. Here's another one. This one has, this was a seedling. I don't think it reverted. I think not all of them were variegated. There were several that came up that did not have any variegation. And this is another pot of seedlings, and there's that one is not variegated as well. Here's another one. Slight variegation, not as much as the other ones, but you can see typical variegation in these guys. So again, those are seedling Amorphophallus konjac variety shattered glass. So now we're in the frog room, and I'm just going to highlight a few things. This is a new begonia, really cool green with purple splotching, and this is Begonias saxons. Begonias saxons variety mystery. These are cool. I've always liked these syningas. We got several types. This is one of my favorite. This is Leucotricha. And they start out very, very fuzzy leaves, and they're even fuzzy flowers. And then as they get larger, they lose some of the fuzziness, but they still quite hairy. This one's got two different stalks coming up. Really like this plant. This is another one. You can see as the leaves get large, it's still hairy, but it's not quite as fuzzy as when they're smaller. These are some different plants that I imported from Indonesia. Some different palms. That's a Penanga beechii and Penanga mottled. I don't think there's a species on that. So those are just two that I got from Thailand recently. These are some more. This is where when I propagate stuff, I usually do a lot of 4-inch pots, propagate them. Different Sonarilla, some jewel orchids. This is a bulb, I believe it's African bulb, Resnova megaphylla. Really neat leaves. Comes up, the flowers, when it first grows, it grows a flower, then eventually these leaves will die back. It'll go dormant for a while. More jewel orchids. Some ferns, more Sonarilla. This is the living wall a smaller one. Let me see if I can, running out of room here. This is the living wall that I had in my office for a while, and the tank developed a leak, so the base is getting all messed up, and the wood, you can see the wood, it's got some water damage. I need to just redo the whole thing, but it still holds water. It's just a very slow leak. But a lot of the plants on there, the only original plant left is this Pleurothallus alleni. This guy has managed to, we're going on probably 10 years of this thing being running, and that's original, and this bulbophyllum is also original. This is, and this one blooms. This is I forget the name of it. If I remember it, I'll put it on the screen. But everything else do really well, and then eventually it would just die out. This is Alsobia, I believe. I mean, you can see it has done really well, but it kind of has taken over. So I keep pulling it out, and it doesn't like that. I don't know what the heck this is. Doesn't like it when you trim it back too much. A lot of the other orchids that I put on there just didn't thrive, and eventually just kind of petered out. Still got some of the moss and things on there. I've tried different things, but it's not bad, but things do really well for a while, and then they just crash. So I don't know if that's any fault of mine, or if that's just what happens with these things. This is another, it's similar to the other kind of living wall thing, but it's basically a fake rock waterfall stuck inside of one of these Exoterra. I believe it's 18 by 18 by 24 is the size, but it's got a waterfall that recirculates water. And this one, plants in here, seems to have done better than the plants on the living wall that is not in the terrarium. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but obviously this Begonia Amphioxus is kind of taken over, and I have to pull big sections of that constantly. Some nice ferns that are growing out of the deal. Beesia, I believe. This has done really well and kept, fairly small. Neolepocyrus ovatus, I believe that's the name. Got a couple of those in there. Some biophytum, another type of fern. A couple of jewel orchids. Another alleni in the back there. And this is Maxillaria variabilis. Forget the name of this. It's another bulbophyllum. It's kind of doing really well. And this blooms as well. And a Angraecum, I can't remember them. And this is actually flowered in here. This thing, I've had this forever, and it's still tiny. Little white flowers, very, very cool plant, but has done pretty well in here. All right, that does it for today. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if there's a certain type of plant you want to see. If you want like instructional on how to take cuttings of certain things, or anything, just hit me up in the comments. If you like this video, consider subscribing and clicking the notification and liking and all those things that help grow this channel. I'd be interesting to know if there's any other guitarists who are also plant people, or plant people who are also guitarists. It'd be interesting to see if there's anybody who actually watches plant videos and guitar videos. I'm Rob Melanson. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.